6 o'clock Wednesday, October 28th, and I will call the October Grand Traverse County Board of Commissioners meeting to order. And we will begin with our opening ceremonies. Dr. Lathrop will do the invocation, and then he will lead us in the pledge.
Please bow your heads. But what do you require of us, God? Your word says we need to do three simple things: to act justly, to love kindness, and to walk humbly with you, God. Thanks for always being here with us, Lord. We will take a small, silent moment to practice your presence right now. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ms. Bonnie, the roll, please.
Johnson?
Here.
Crawford? Here. Klaus?
Here.
Wheelock?
Yes, ma'am.
Kropa?
Here.
Lathrop?
Here.
Maxbauer?
Here. Next on the agenda is approval of the minutes. Are there any changes to any of the minutes on in our packet? Hearing none, they stand approved. This is our first opportunity for public comment. Bonnie, if you would read the rules, please.
Any person shall be permitted to address a meeting of the Board of Commissioners which is required to be open to the public under the provision of the Michigan Open Meetings Act as amended. Public comment shall be carried out in accordance with the following board rules and procedures. 1. Any person wishing to address the board shall state his or her name and address. 2. No person shall be allowed to speak more than once on the same matter, excluding time needed to answer commissioners' questions. The chairperson shall control the amount of time each person shall be allowed to speak, which shall not exceed 3 minutes. Chairperson may, at his or her discretion, extend the amount of time any person is allowed to speak.
Would anyone like to make public comment? Seeing none, I will move on to approval of the agenda. Are there any changes to the agenda? Dr. Lathrop.
Yes, I'd like to add the consideration of the reappointment of Linda Wagner to the Beta Board.
All right. We will put that under, hang on a minute here, new business number 1. I am going to add the amendment to grant number MSC-2012-0781 HOA. You have a copy of it on your desk. This is being added due to a clerical omission in one of our previous packets, so that will be under new business number 2.
Tom, did you say what?
Well, I have since found out that Linda Wagner is the chair of the Beta Board, and until someone is appointed, she stays in that position. But I've also found out that there is another person who has applied for the Beta Board, and so it might be more appropriate to review both of the resumes before we act on it and look at credentials and then do it.
Can I retract it?
You can retract your addition to the agenda.
I retract it.
All right.
Yeah.
Commissioner
I
Kropa.
wasn't aware of that before.
I was going to ask this at the item, but if the item's being removed, just for a point of clarification, does the county appoint in an ad hoc if there's interviewees, just like we do for any other board?
Yes.
Correct, yeah,
Yes, that would come under RMNA.
Yeah, there
Okay.
are 2 elected officials, Leelanau, Grand Traverse. One is elected by the Beta Board, and then the other 4 are appointees, 1 by Leelanau, 3 by Grand Traverse County. They go through the normal process.
So we would have an interview?
You would have an
Yes.
interview.
The other gentleman that did apply has applied for several boards here in the county.
Yes.
Very impressed with him, and he has some excellent credentials. And I wanted to say tonight, I would at least like the opportunity for us to
And
consider him.
that'll be done.
Okay.
Okay, so
Should I add that to RMNA?
Yes.
Well, do we want to try to do the interviews before that, make the appointment at RMNA? When does the term expire?
I have an idea. Let's put Beta Board interviews under new business item number 1.
That'll work. I didn't want to just gloss over a very worthy applicant.
Okay, and we have the amendment to a grant as new business number 2. I would entertain a motion to approve the agenda as amended.
So move.
Is there support?
Support.
Moved by Dr. Lathrop, supported by Commissioner Kropa. Discussion. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same. Motion carries. Next on our agenda is consent calendar. Bonnie.
The purpose of the consent calendar is to expedite business by grouping non-controversial items together to be dealt with by one commission motion without discussion. Any member of the commission, staff, or the public may ask that any item on the consent calendar be removed and placed elsewhere on the agenda for full discussion. Such requests will be automatically respected. If any item is not removed from the consent calendar, the action noted, receive and file, or approval, is approved by a single commission action adopting the consent calendar. A, receive and file. Number 1, Northwest Michigan Community Action Agency minutes of June 18th. Number 2, Grand Traverse County Department of Health and Human Services minutes of June 23rd. Number 3, Land Bank Authority minutes of July 15th. Number 4, Grand Traverse County Department of Health and Human Services minutes of July 28th. Number 5, Grand Traverse County Brownfield Redevelopment Authority minutes of July 29th. Number 6, Northwest Michigan Community Action Agency minutes of August 20th. Number 7, Grand Traverse County Department of Health and Human Services minutes of August 25th. Number 8, Northwestern Regional Airport Commission minutes of August 25th. Number 9, Grand Traverse County Department of Human Services Board minutes of August 28th. Number 10, Northern Lake Community Mental Health minutes of September 17th. Number 11, Grand Traverse County Department of Health and Human Services minutes of September 22nd. Number 12, Traverse Area District Library minutes of September 24th. Number 13, Grand Traverse County Commission on Aging minutes of October 16th. Number 14, correspondence received October 20th regarding Easling Pool. Approvals. The Public Health and Safety Committee did not meet in October. The Resource Management and Administration Committee recommends approval of the following. Number 15, Community Corrections Pilot Program. Number 16, Community Corrections Contracts 2015-2016. Number 17, County Clerk Concealed Pistol License Fingerprint Unit. Number 18, Lease Agreement with Addiction Treatment Services. Number 19, Resource Recovery Clean Sweep Grant from fiscal year 2016. The Ways and Means Committee recommends approval of the following. Number 20, 2015 Apportionment Report. Number 21, Appointment of Remonumentation Grant Administrator. Number 22, Contract Extension for Trash Removal Services, American Waste. Number 23, Facilities, Surplus Equipment. Number 24, Installation of the Government Center Generator, Advantage Electric. Number 25, Snow Removal Services Bid, Elmer's Crane and Dozer. Number 26, Budget Adjustments. Number 27, Boardman River Ecosystem Restoration Project, Invoices URS.
Would any member of the public like any item removed from the consent calendar? Any commissioners? Seeing staff.
Number 18.
Mr. Cooney would like number 18, lease agreement with addiction treatment services removed.
Who pulled that?
18.
18.
I would entertain a motion for the consent calendar as amended.
Madam Chairman, I would approve the consent calendar with the exception of item B18.
Is there support?
Support.
Moved by Commissioner Wheelock, supported by Commissioner Crawford, to approve the consent calendar as amended. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same. Motion carries. All right. No special orders of business. Next on the agenda, items removed from the consent calendar. Mr. Cooney, you have the floor.
Yeah, this agreement went together fairly quickly, and I know you got it late because Chris Hinbaugh from ATS, their director, was out of town on vacation last week, but ATS is okay with this agreement. I just wanted to make sure, because I had to make some judgment calls myself here in preparing the document, that you're fully aware of what you're getting into. This is a lease agreement for $1 a year to ATS to run the PRS program, and the county does have a 90-day and out clause, 90 days, because it is a 90-day treatment program, so that seemed to make a lot of sense there. And I'm not going to go through the whole thing. I just wanted to highlight the things that I had to make some calls on here. And one of those is the county is going to be installing a new water heater in the building. I guess that's required because the other one, I don't know if it's completely out of service or what, but that's about a $10,000 expense as I understand it. It didn't seem quite right to charge ATS for a new water heater because they may, this is a one-year lease with an option for a renewal for 1 year, And so we did talk about possibly sharing the cost or something like that. I think the general feeling here is that we're going to be saving jail days, and this could end up being a money saver for the county. Obviously, I spoke in favor of this agreement because of the need for good treatment in our community at the last meeting. So I wanted you to be aware of that. The other expense that the county would be putting into this building is about $700 by IT to put wireless internet connection over there. They do need a wireless internet connection in order to run their business. The other thing that you should know is there is reporting that's required by this agreement. So if we find out ATS is making a whole lot of profit off this, we're not expecting that at all, then the county could go back and renegotiate and decide whether maybe we should be getting some sort of rent payments for that. This is a typical lease agreement where ATS is responsible for liability and maintenance of the interior of the building. The county's responsible for maintenance and liability outside of the building. And if any of the county employees are concerned, all parking and pickup of residents is off county property.
Okay. Commissioner Klaus?
Bob, did you say that we got to put a new water heater in there for $10,000?
That's my understanding, and I don't know if it's something that has to be done immediately, and we're going to do it before we get started.
This is just a small building and not a,
Yes.
it's just a, can we just see that does go up for bid?
Gold-plated.
I mean, it just seems awfully,
Seems like a lot of money for a water heater for
I know I've never
for a portable
spent that
classroom.
much.
yeah.
I'd bathe in the lake
If-
first.
So I'd
before
like
I
to do it on a weekend. No, it's, unless it's something special, some kind of on-demand, but I'm sure we don't need that.
Yeah, I don't,
Okay, just,
I don't know anything about how they came up with that cost. I think
Yeah, my recollection was it was not anywhere near that cost, but I don't want to contradict anything. Bob has actually been working closer. We will do, I'll work with facilities, and I thought it was in the $3,000 range, but I don't know for sure. But yes, 10,000 would be quite a bit.
If you would
I was
just,
going in the hot water tank.
if you would just check that out.
That was probably the
For us.
hot tub that went with it.
Oh, that's what it was. It was the sauna.
All right. I will entertain a motion for a lease agreement with Addiction Treatment Services.
I was wondering, in terms of their finances and determining if they were doing real well, do we do an audit, or how would you check that to determine what their financial situation is?
Yeah, they're required to provide quarterly reports to the county so that we know how much revenue they're bringing in from whatever source, whether it's grant money, state money, federal money, and also, or what they're charging their residents, and also what their expenses are. So by looking at those numbers, we should be able to figure out, how
Well,
they're
we
doing.
know, we'll know how many people are going there because that was supposed, as it was outlined, it was going to be 4 Grand Traverse County treatment facilities, and we pay, $28 a day for them, so they're not going to get a ton of money, so.
Right.
This does include 13th Circuit residents. It has to because of the constraints of the grant.
I understand, but
But-
local residents,
Yeah, but
basically.
last year, they had exactly 2 Antrim County residents and 1 Leelanau County resident that was in the program. So we're talking a very small number, and these are, for all practical purposes, local people.
Do we do
And they
joint
only have a
grant writing now?
capacity of 12 people, so it's not going to be a ton
Do
of
we do
money.
joint grant writing? With them?
Madam Chairman, I would move to approve the lease facility with ATS for the Outback project, or the pilot ATS treatment service.
Is there support? Moved by Commissioner Wheelock, supported by Dr. Johnson, to approve the contract with, the lease agreement with ATS. Discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same. Motion carries. All right. Next, we have no, well, yes, we do. Department action items. Administration, finance, the claims summary.
You have on your desk the claims for the month of October. The audit committee has not seen all of these, but they will. The benefits posting, for example, would be one. But the total claims for the month, $30,722,695.66. And just a quick comment, in the immediate payments, you're seeing a very large payment or total on October 2nd, and then also on October 23rd. Those are primarily due to the state education tax collections that the local units remit to the county treasurer, and then we turn around and pay those back over to the state. That's about 14 million of that $26 million total.
Doctor?
Of the health for 63 and 58, what does that represent?
Those are their payables. They do report to the audit committee, just like the county general claims and accounts. It's their regular.
This is our health, our insurance?
No, this would
The
be
health
the
department?
invoices for the health department.
Oh, I get you. Okay, thank you. Yeah.
Is there a motion? Oh, there was. I'm sorry.
No, there wasn't.
Was there?
I thought there was.
No.
Sunny made the motion.
I thought Sunny made the motion
That
and
was for the
Bob
last-
That was
supported
for the
it.
last one.
I've lost track.
That was for the last one.
Is there a motion?
Madam Chairman, I would move to approve claims in amount of $30,722,695.66 as outlined by the finance director.
Is there support?
I'll support it.
Supported by Dr. Lathrop. Further discussion? I'll slow down. I'm so excited by a short meeting tonight, what can I tell you? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same. Motion carries. All right. Old unfinished business, resource recovery RFPs. I have been working with Paula Segala. I finished one RFP, and she and I have been in discussion about it today. As soon as we finalize the RFPs, they will be brought to the board, but that's your update.
I would ask if you have the drafts, when you get the drafts available, if I could see them, please.
Oh, you bet you can. Mine are prettier than yours, Sonny.
Well, I'm sure, because somebody moved the expected date up on me 3 days, so you got them noted on a back of the
Yes.
Harbor steel pad.
Yes. So that's my update. All right, new business. Item number 1, a beta board appointment. Commissioner Kropa, you are the RM&A chair.
Yes.
Would you like to appoint an ad hoc now?
I think we will do that and have our interviews with the two members as soon as we probably can. And I'm going to appoint Dan if he's interested, since he sits on the beta board.
Sure.
Okay?
I'm not volunteering.
No, and Ron, I know that you're out of town. Bob, I know you have a terrible schedule. Sonny, I know that you work during the day.
So it comes to me.
Well, it comes to the two of us, that's it. So that's
Fine.
your committee.
That's fine.
Okay.
So we will have Chris Kramer contact the two interviewees. We will talk to them and meet with them. Tom, we'll have you copied on those. You're welcome to attend as administrator on those interviews. And obviously, anybody is, it's a public meeting, but just to make sure that you're aware of the dates.
Okay, we have Commissioner Kropa, Dr. Lathrop, and Commissioner Crawford on the ad hoc. Next item on new business is amendment to grant MSC-2012-0781-HOA. Who would like to take this? And I see Jean Dorenzi in the audience. I'm hinting.
Good evening. My name is Jean Dorenzi, the Deputy Director of the Planning and Development Department. This is just an amendment. It's basically a 3-month amendment to a grant that we received from MSHDA 2 years ago. It's a county allocation grant. We are trying to finish up 2 homes that have been already under contract, and we should be finishing those up probably within 2 weeks, and then we'll be done with the grant. But we just needed the extension so we can use the final grant amount to finish up the homes that are under construction for rehabilitation. I'm sorry?
Is that the depot area?
No, this is a home reconstruction, home rehabilitation, so it's within the whole area of Grand Traverse County.
Okay. Is there a motion? Commissioner Kropa.
I so moved.
Support.
Okay, Commissioner Kropa has made the motion to accept the amendment to the grant, supported by Dr. Johnson. Further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same. Motion carries. This brings us to our second opportunity for public comment. Anyone wishing to make public comment? Okay, seeing none, Commissioner committee reports. Who would like to start? Commissioner Crawford.
It's not really a committee report, but I did participate in Apple Day last Thursday and helped members of the wellness team pass out apples to all the employees. So I was assigned to the new courthouse and the law enforcement center. And Nate Alger, our undersheriff, helped me there, walked me around and introduced me to people. And I just have to say that our employees are awesome. Everybody was very kind. Everybody was very happy to see apples. And they're like, oh, wow, cool. So, yeah.
They were happy to see you.
Maybe.
It was the food.
I like to think that. So I really enjoyed that. I enjoyed meeting a lot of employees that I wouldn't normally encounter, so.
All right. Anyone else? Dr. Johnson?
Yeah, at my veteran meeting last Thursday, the Michigan Veterans Affairs Agency is doing a lot of work now to advertise all the agencies that are available to help veterans. So what that means now is you have more veterans coming in. It's another unfunded mandate, if you will. And so their waits, their days in between appointments are getting longer. So they may very well bring something with the budget to try to increase, add another position. So just be aware, I've talked about that before, but they're getting close to a 30-day window of, when a veteran walks in and being able to get an appointment. And that's, to me, that's not acceptable, So as we look at services we provide and what they are, I think we need to make sure we keep that in mind, so.
Thank you. Commissioner Kropa and then Dr. Lathrop.
I made my cheat sheet here. Unfortunately, there's a few items. The first one is very good news. We heard from our deputy director, I have all my notes on here. I'm not tweeting or something. Jason Torrey, deputy director of 911. Many of you remember that the local paper was quite harsh on us when we passed our radio system program. They were convinced we were going down a dead-end street, but they like to think the sky is falling, I think. So I have good news to state that State of Michigan, Michigan Public Safety Communications System Commission did get rid of the subscriber fee for the radios. And they replaced it at this point with a standard one-time radio subscriber fee of $250 per radio. We had already budgeted that in as our best-case scenario, because we were not dumb enough to have a best-case scenario budget be zero for a one-time fee. So, and I did speak with somebody that sits on the MPSCS this week, and they feel that there's a good chance that in the future there won't even be a subscriber fee. I did ask about the city of Detroit, who is $2 million in debt to the MPSCS and climbing, and really that was going to be my leverage. If they continued this fee, I was going to say, well, Detroit doesn't have to pay it, but, why do we? So anyways, that was very good news, and I am going to contact the Record Eagle and share this great news with them. I highly doubt we'll see it in print, so I wanted to say that today. Maybe an editorial or a poll, I don't know, but I'm hoping for that in the near future. As far as the NER Advisory Committee, they wanted to let us know that the first stretch of the Boardman River Trail from the Keystone Rapids Trailhead to the Olsen Bridge is now complete, and they're working on the rest of it. And they've been not hasty at all, considering the time of year and the weather that we're heading into. This morning's Brownfield meeting was very interesting, but I wanted to point out that Jean Dorenzi, our Brownfield director, is, they're coming up with a lot of really great ideas for new efficiencies and stuff there, and they formed a committee today, and they're going to be looking at some different ways of doing things in Brownfield, and I was really impressed. I served Monday down in Lansing on the MAC Judiciary Public and Safety Committee meeting, and I wanted to give you a few updates there. The first one is I added an item to Sunny's agenda for public health and safety, and Bob, I sent you an email really recently about this, like while I was sitting here. The items I've added to the agenda are 2 House bills that are going up for vote. One is regarding 17-year-olds, whether they will be considered juveniles or adults. The other one is a presumptive parole. In discussing this with MAC committee and commissioners from around the state, they really felt that being more proactive contacting our other commissions in our judiciary circuit, contacting our representatives and senators to try to stop this, because what it is really an unfunded mandate on our counties that will send, instead of 17-year-olds going to the Michigan prison system, they'll instead be here in the county system. And unexpectedly, just within next year, we could be looking at an excessive amount of money going into the county system. And Todd, I'll copy you on that too if you want to, just so you know. But Bob, I was going to seek your advice for maybe drafting a form letter or something that we could do with our board. That's what they were recommending for other commissions.
Well, a resolution
Yeah.
not supporting the bills
Right.
would make a lot of sense, I think. And there are a lot of bills out there right now that have been proposed or they're in the works, and they're all a result of this Council of State Governments report that the governor asked for. He asked for a study by those folks about a year ago. And what I can tell you is those recommendations in general tend to shift the costs of these changes to local governments and away from state government. And they're all hidden. And there was a bill, 4138, a couple of weeks ago, I was calling my representatives about, because it was the presumptive parole bill. And that would shift a lot of costs back to counties and away from state government. And I had concerns because of public safety, more so than the money myself. But I think right now, this board should be paying attention to all these prison reform bills. There's some good in them. I like the idea of going to 17-year-olds being treated generally as juveniles and not adults. The problem is the way that they're going about doing it. The devil is in the details. And one thing you should know, it costs about 3 times as much to provide programming for a juvenile, appropriate programming, as it costs to incarcerate an adult. We've got one in our system that over $100,000 a year to provide appropriate programming to, and there's no guarantee that there's any funding that's going to go along with the passage of these bills. And so I would be very careful about that, but I can draft a resolution opposing those 2 bills in particular.
And those are the 2 bills I asked Sunny to put on. And I've got quite a bit of notes, and the devil is in the details, and they did share a lot of the details with me at the committee, so that's why I thought an agenda item would be appropriate to discuss that, and then talk about maybe a resolution. What this is potentially a quite significant unfunded mandate that could be well into the $1 million cost towards counties if all of a sudden you have to take on these prisoners in your county facilities rather than to the state facilities. And of course, the state of Michigan has recommended closing 2 prisons in the next year, and that's where these costs get shifted. But this is where, our job is to foresee these things coming, and Bob has done a great job with this, and I intend to go down in December to the committee hearing in Lansing and just speak on behalf of our county, and anybody's welcome to go, obviously, but talk about how the discussion was myself and a guy from, I don't know what it's called in the thumb. Their county is roughly the same size as ours, and he leaned over to me, because our committee is mostly Wayne, Oakland County, Ingham, Ionia. He said, we're the ones that really get hurt from these. These are these counties with, and Bob knows it's a significant portion. So I added that. What I did want to tell you that was interesting on there, just to share, the Michigan road funding bill also has potential impact on counties, and I wanted to share that. As you all know, the House passed the road funding package last week. The bill went to the Senate. It stalled yesterday, but as I was driving here today, I heard that they passed it, and I was trying to quickly Google something, and I couldn't pull it up. But the concern about it is, we were given the spreadsheet at MAC about where the revenue goes away from with road funding and where it goes to. And it goes to some interesting things, but ultimately, they gave us a projection till fiscal year '21. And what it shows is if the road funding bill passes as it is, it will be an $805 million decrease in the general fund. And what the concern of MAC is typically when you lose a significant portion of the general fund, they go to county revenue sharing to fill in the gap. MAC is already starting up a committee to fight that along with these juvenile bills. So I wanted to share that, and I'll keep you updated. So if the Senate does pass that, we need to probably keep a good eye on revenue sharing and make sure that the counties don't fall in the hole, because the counties are falling in the hole on a lot of these bills. Just the last two things, Sheriff Bensley and I will be meeting. I contacted you. We'll set up a date about Central Records and the Woodmere Agreement, and then I'll share that information. And I did meet yesterday to draft a beginning of business plans for the Easling Pool with our Parks and Rec Director. I met with her in the morning, and we outlined 4 different business plans with 4 options for the County Board and the Parks Board. Then in the afternoon, I met with the YMCA, and my negotiation that I brought to the table was 0, the county input, giving 0 to the pool, and what would the YMCA need from us and what would it cost for their members. And then I gave them, if the county gave the maximum amount, and then we're going to create a sliding scale and see if somewhere in between we can find a business plan that works for us and create a compromise. We have a business plan where the pool stays closed permanently, and we have a business plan where the pool stays as is and how long Grand Traverse County could conceivably carry on like that. So I'll bring those back when we do that.
Dr. Lathrop.
Beta Board had a meeting today. It was Mr. Menzel's last meeting as director of Beta, and we did appoint interim director, Mary Maroy, who is excellent
She is.
person, has
Yeah.
great
She's awesome.
skills.
That's a very good
We're
choice.
excited and happy to have her. I will say this, that when you look at when Tom entered Beta, and it was a complete mess, and 5 years later, he exits Beta, and it's got a couple $1,000,000 in the savings account. It's making money. It's got new buses driving around.
It's
New
over 100% funded in their pensions.
Yeah, 110% funded. We expect the same thing for the county.
Well, with your help, all of us here, I think we can get towards that goal.
Tom, when you walked in the Beta door, how many hours of operating cash did they have?
They had lost $387,000 in 2008 and had $400,000 in debt, and they were pretty bad. And, the fleet was, I had 18 buses that had over 700,000 miles and hadn't replaced any of them. They were in pretty bad shape. So, yeah, it was a challenge, but, we got some very good people, and Dan knows. He had a report today on the balance sheet and all of those things, and some of the new things we're putting in terms of software inventory control and new bus wash, and so yeah, it's a very, very different organization, and I appreciate your gracious comments, but it was the people around me that did it. That's what makes it. The people who work there, and I had a wonderful board to work with. Wonderful board.
And may I say, you do here, too.
Yeah.
Look at the look. He's
It just shows you it
overwhelmed.
can be done.
Yes.
Can be done. That's my report.
On that note, I would move to go into closed session.
Madam Chairman? I have
Yep.
one thing, if I
Oh,
could,
I'm sorry,
please.
Commissioner Wheelock.
Just because I was reminded by comments that Alicia made and Dan made. I see recently that we received the retirement of Jamel Anderson, and I would encourage our county administrator to move swiftly to appoint Jason Torrey, at least our interim director of Central Dispatch. I think Jason's been doing the job for a long time, and we really need to give him the credit for what he's doing and make this move quickly.
I appreciate your wonderful comments. However, I'm going to stick my nose in here and say that that is our administrator's
I know.
decision.
I'm just
But
going
I'm
to-
pretty sure your comments are going to have a little bit of weight.
I know that it's his decision. I just said that I would like to encourage him to do that.
All righty.
I'll certainly take that into consideration, and sadly enough, I don't know who either one of those people are, so I'll try to make a good decision, but thank you. That's helpful in terms of evaluating them.
All right.
Always available if you have questions.
I may also
You're
have
willing to
contacted
share
him on
your
the same thing.
opinion. All right, Commissioner Wheelock. Okay, I would move to go into closed session to discuss pending litigation in regard to the Carlson case. And I would note that no decisions are expected to come out of the closed session. Is there support?
Support.
Moved by Chairman Max Bauer, supported by Commissioner Wheelock. Roll call, please, Bonnie.
Crawford,
Yes.
Klaus,
Yes.
Wheelock,
Yes.
Cropa, Lathrop,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Max Bauer.
Yes.
We're all
Mike, do we need signatures?